everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm super happy to have you. I'm sure you guys probably noticed here that I have my little sling on and I'm getting it off pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. But for now, I just figured it'd be a good time to do some vlogs and sit down videos and just kind of like take the opportunity of not being able to do much. I am actually going to try and film a Topshop haul today, so we'll see how that goes. I might have to have my sister help me, but for now, I'm just going to stay in my zone and do a Q&A video for you guys because I posted a couple of Q&A boxes over on my Instagram story, and I was going to answer some of them there, but I figured it'd be good to just pile everything together and just put it all in one place. So I do have the questions here on my sister's phone because I'm filming on mine. And this is the third time that I've tried to film this video. So she's an absolute angel for letting me take her phone out of her hands for like 20 minutes every day for the past 3 days. So hopefully third time's a charm, and this will be the last time that I'm filming this. If you guys don't already and you would like to, then you can click that subscribe button right down below. And I'm just gonna jump right into it with the first question. So I think a nice one to start with would be, can you do a basic about you for new followers, where you live, your job, etc. XO. So I am 24. I live in New Jersey, hopefully moving to New York City within the next 3 or 4 months. Fingers crossed. We'll just start putting that into the universe. It's always been my dream to live in New York City, so I am trying to plan and save for that right now. I have a twin sister and an older sister, no other siblings, and we have a little dog named Enzo, who you guys have probably seen in my videos before. And I live with my mom and dad. I moved home after college and I've been here ever since. It was a little bit of an adjustment, but we are still doing fine. I get a lot of questions about two things, my height and my ethnicity. So I am 5'8". I'm a little bit on the taller side, I would say. Me and my sister are basically around the same height, and then my older sister's actually a little bit shorter than us, even though she's older. And then we are 50% Greek, which you guys can probably tell by my name. And the other half is French, Polish, and German, but I'm not sure about the percentages. And then in terms of schooling, I did go to the University of Delaware, best 4 years of my life, and I met the most amazing people there. I studied fashion merchandising there, but I wasn't always a fashion merch major. I actually switched from a health science major. So if you guys are in that place where you are hating your major, you're hating what you're doing, do not be afraid to make the switch because it was the best decision of my life. And then I now work in luxury fashion, and I've been at the same company for 2.5 years, but we will get into all of that stuff because I have a ton of questions about work on here. So that's just a basic overall about me. So we'll get into some more quick fun questions because I'm going to get into like work and all that kind of stuff, but I tend to babble on a lot, which is another reason why I had to film this video 3 times. So we'll just go through a few before I get into the nitty-gritty stuff. Next question here is, what do you think about the Produ bag everyone is wearing? I'm assuming it's the one, I don't even know the name of it. This is so terrible. It's like I live under a rock or something. But I don't think that it's my style. That's just the easiest way for me to put it. I think it's very 90s and all of that stuff that's trending right now. And if I were to spend that much on a bag, I think I would want to, this sounds crazy, but I always envision myself like, can I wear this as a mom? Or like, is this a mom bag? Which is ridiculous, but if I like it or I love it as much as I do now, but then I can also see myself wearing it as a mom one day, then that's just my standard of whether or not I should spend the money on something. So the Prada bag is a no for me, but only because I just don't think it aligns with my personal style that much. Someone else asked, are you dating anyone? And put the tongue sticking out emoji. I am single. I've been single for like 3.5 years, which is so crazy to say, but I wouldn't change it at all. I don't ever think, I go through ebbs and flows where I'm like, that would be nice to have someone, and then I'm like, but I want to do whatever I want. So I'm in that kind of like weird space right now, but I am turning 25, so hopefully that doesn't cause me to have like a quarter life crisis in terms of like relationships and stuff. So, but we're riding it out. We love being single, and I just love being able to do whatever I want. I'm not like a wild kid, but I just love being able to do what I want and just only being responsible for myself, and obviously still having like respect for my parents and all that kind of stuff. But really all I have to live for is me, and I just don't think that I'll ever look back and say like, oh, I wish I wasn't single at that time. I don't think I'll ever say that. So we will just keep riding this little period out, and you know, it's in God's hands. We'll just leave it with that. Okay, and then another one is, can you do a going out makeup routine? I have struggled with this a little bit because I listen to a podcast, and the girls always ask their guests like what gives you the right. So they'll have experts and different people come on and give dating advice and like life advice, and they'll basically just ask them like, what gives you the right for us to listen to you, basically. And I kind of feel this way about makeup videos because I love doing makeup personally, but I have no sort of like schooling in it, and I just kind of do whatever works for me. But I would love to do like an everyday makeup tutorial. I have so many like fail-safe products that I am just obsessed with, and I would love to share with you guys. So if you're interested in a video like that, or like maybe like a get ready with me kind of chit chat video, then let me know in the comments down below, because I would be more than happy to do that. And then okay, Enzo's scratching at the door. But yeah, in terms of like a going out routine, I mean, for makeup, I try to keep it mostly minimal. Really? You have to dig now? And now you're embarrassed because you're on camera, huh? But in terms of a going out routine, I kind of just pack on more of what I normally do during the day, just so it looks a little bit more bold. So we can kind of do one video of everything like all put together. But yeah, I would definitely do that. So let me know if you guys would want to see something like that. Okay, and then one of my friends on Instagram asked, what is your favorite trend item at the moment? And I'm just going to kind of give you guys a short little background about trends. So I've been trying to get my money's worth when it comes to my wardrobe. And so I think a lot of that is me trying to pick pieces that I'm gonna wear like years and years to come, and trying to pick more quality pieces. Really? That's rude. But if I did have to pick one for the season, I would definitely say a jacket. I think you guys probably have seen on my Instagram that I own two, and they're very similar but different at the same time. I sound like in Devil Wears Prada when she's like, those belts are completely different, but they're literally the same. And so I definitely fell into the jacket trend, but I picked ones that I absolutely love, and whether the trend is at its height like it is right now, or whether it goes away in 2 months, I'll still want to wear them next year. So that's kind of my take on trends. I don't normally go for them just because I want to be able to get the most like wear out of my wardrobe, and I don't think that trends are the best way to do that. But yeah, jacket was definitely one that got me this season. Okay, let's see. So I'll answer a couple about Instagram and things like that. So one of them was, were you nervous to transition your Instagram account to influencer content? No, just in short, I have a separate account. So I have my personal account and my fashion account. I think that I didn't have enough confidence at the beginning to say like, I don't care if my friends or acquaintances or people that I know are going to be bothered by the fact that I'm posting Instagrams every single day of my outfits. So I did start a separate account. There are positives and negatives to starting a separate account. So I would say the positive is that I had the most creative freedom that I could ever dream of. I was basically talking to a bunch of random people, so I didn't really care whether or not people were going to like the content. So I guess I just started it thinking, okay, so I have my sisters that follow me and maybe some of my close friends, and then the rest of the people are just people that enjoy whatever I'm posting. And then I think the negative was that I literally started at zero. So I maybe have like 1,300 followers on my personal account, but with the fashion account, I started at zero. But I do have to say that I think I made the right decision for myself. I know that a lot of people will do whatever works for them, and whatever way you want to start it, then do that. But I think for me, that was the best choice. And that way I didn't have any fear of whether or not I was going to offend people by posting my outfits and my stories every day. And then, so along the lines of that, someone asked, how do you manage blogging and working? I work from 7 to 4. My company has blessed us with the option to choose our schedule. So I'd rather just kind of get in early because I'm already up in the morning, and then get home and be able to do some editing. So a lot of my work, I do rely heavily on the weekends, which becomes difficult in the summertime because I'm doing a lot more in the summer on the weekends. When it's in the winter and it's freezing out, I don't really want to do anything. So it's a lot easier for me to film videos and to run to a couple towns over and get some like outfit photos. And so scratching, so I'm just gonna let him out. So yeah, I think the weekends I rely on heavily just because I don't really have that much time during the week, and I am going into work physically, so it's not like I could take my lunch break and go and shoot some pictures in my mirror or something like that. So definitely weekends are my savior, and I think I don't put too much pressure on myself. If I come home from work and I'm just exhausted, I don't try to do all of these things. I just kind of relax and take the time that I need. So I definitely think that my overall strategy is to just use my weekends as much as I can and get as much as I can done, with still having time to do things that I want and relax at the same time. Okay, so now I guess we will start with the job questions. So I share a lot of my job on my story. It's basically where I spend most of my time, so I feel like that happens organically. But someone said, what do you do at work / job description? So I work for a company called Caring. They are a luxury parent company, so they own a bunch of brands like Balenciaga, YSL, Gucci, Bottega Veneta, and a bunch of others, Alexander McQueen. So I specifically work just for Gucci, and I'm kind of on the operations side for the repair center. So my official job description is a specialist for spare parts and processing. So basically my day-to-day is not that exciting. It kind of maybe looks like it is because I get to work with the product, which is probably one of my favorite parts about the job. Also not very good for my bank account because I basically see everything in the arsenal of designer fashion, and we need to save money because we're trying to move out. So I do work in operations for the repair center, and that's just kind of like my overall job description. And then someone asked, how did you get your job? Which I get that a lot because I think that the fashion industry, or even when I was in school, I just felt like there was such a secretive kind of element to it. And I was having the same questions that a lot of other people have asked me. And it's, how do you get your job? How do you get your foot in the door? Especially when it comes to working in luxury fashion. When I was applying to jobs, it was like, you need 2 years of experience and you need to be working in this specific realm of the industry. And I had no experience in luxury fashion. So, like I said, I studied at the University of Delaware. I have a fashion merchandising degree from them. And then after school, because I changed my major, I did have to take one more finance class. So I graduated with my class on time and I was able to walk, but I did have to take that one class and pass it. So while all of my other friends were getting jobs and moving out, I had to study. And that was the worst, I think, most impatient time of my life. And so in the last week when I was studying for my final, I was just getting my resume ready, writing a bunch of cover letters, and I ended up applying to maybe 6 or 7 positions. I think I heard back from 1 and it was a no. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to take another route here. So one of my friends actually reached out to me and she said that she had a friend that worked for a recruiting agency that only dealt with fashion companies. So basically the recruiting agency will go out and find people to fill the positions at the companies. So I emailed one of the girls there and set up an interview for them. Their office is in New York City. And when you interview with that company, basically that's the only interview that you have to go to. And then they will kind of match you with the company. So she asked me if I wanted New Jersey or New York. And I said I wanted to work in New York City. And that was my ultimate goal and my ultimate dream. But she said she had something, this was like a Thursday, and she said, I have something for Monday if you want to go in. And I had to keep a very open mind because, let's be real, I didn't have a job and I needed one. So I ended up taking the interview, and it was kind of like a working interview. So they basically throw you in the middle of what they would want you to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And then if you do it well enough, they just keep you. And they asked me to come back the next day, and I've been there for 2.5 years. And since then, I have switched positions, so I'm no longer in an entry level, but I still have been able to learn a lot about the industry in general and the luxury industry and their clientele and all this stuff. So I'm so grateful and so blessed to have this position. I also work with the most amazing girls that I've ever met in my life. So definitely an amazing company. I think the way that I kind of got my job was a little bit unconventional. I didn't do the normal interview process. I didn't even interview with Caring. I only interviewed with the recruiting agency. So it was a little bit different, but we still got there in the end. Okay, and then a random question. Someone asked, what lip color are you wearing in all your videos? I am wearing, I'm gonna sound like a broken record with everybody else on the planet, but I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk lipstick. I don't love a matte look. I used to wear all the lip stains in the world. It was absolutely insane. But I ended up putting a gloss over this. Like, I love the color, I love the feel of it, but it looked a little bit too matte. So I threw a clear gloss over it, and it's like a $3 one that I get from Ulta, which, you know, I love. And I kind of like the whole monochrome look right now, so it kind of matches my blush really well. And I just think it's a color that looks good on so many different skin tones too. But I have been branching out recently, which is crazy, but I got into the NYX Butter Glosses. They are amazing, and I'm gonna link them down below, the 2 colors that I have, because I'm so obsessed with them. But yeah, I wear Pillow Talk in most of my videos just because I think it's basically an elevated, more like kind of like foundation for your lips, I would say it is. It just kind of like evens out your skin tone on your lips and just makes them look all nice and colored. And okay, and then my friend literally asked 3 questions, but I'm gonna answer all of hers anyway. She asked, what are some purse/bag must-haves? I don't know if she means like in your purse, like a what's in my bag kind of thing, or if she means like styles of bags, but I'll go with what's in my bag because I think that's just a little bit easier. I can go through an entire video of what handbags I suggest and what I recommend. If you guys want to see that video, let me know in the comments down below. But in my purse, okay, I have a card holder that is always a must. It's just so easy if you're switching your bags to just have all of your necessities in one tiny little thing, especially if you're going out. You just take it out of, like I have my work bag that I keep it in every day. I literally just take that out and drop it in my crossbody and I'm good to go. Another one would be some sort of lip balm. And I say balm, not lip gloss, because I am a fiend for moisturizing my lips at all times. It is actually crazy. I sleep with like a layer of Aquaphor on at night. It's disgusting, but it works. And then I always have, what else? In my actual handbag that I carry every day to work, I do have a wallet that is separate from my card holder. So my card holder is kind of like my ID, my credit cards that I use every day, and my employee card, which you never know when you're gonna need that, so I always keep that with me. And then in my actual purse, I have a wallet that has like all of my other cards. So if I have like a Victoria's Secret gift card or like Sephora membership cards, like I keep all of that in there, and I carry that with me as well, which is kind of a lot. But I always try to keep it minimal too, because I hate a heavy bag. Obviously I have like these lanky, like flimsy arms, so I can't really carry a bag that's too heavy. And so I try to not stuff it with too many things. Also, for the fact that I like to change my bag pretty often, I think it's important to just keep it minimal. Okay, so then the last question that I think we should end with is your favorite part about 2020. So I actually love this question because I feel like there's so much negativity that was surrounding this year, and I get it. It was an absolutely horrible year. There's no debating that, but I do think that it was a really great time for me to reflect and kind of look at what's really important and to only focus on the positive, which is way more easier said than done. I definitely had my fair share of down days. I just had like an entire 2 weeks of down days, and today is like one of the days where I'm finally feeling a little bit better. So yeah, I think that it really forced us all to focus on the positives and focus on what actually matters. So I think that family has become like really the center of a lot of people's lives, and maybe that's something that they absolutely needed and just couldn't get because they were either working too much or just didn't have the time. So I think that spending time with family has become really important. I have also, like a lot of people, have never gone on this many walks in my entire life. I have a new appreciation for nature. I think that when we come out of this, we're gonna have such an appreciation for real clothing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a hoodie and I have been living in loungewear, but I would never say that in the past, and here I am. But I cannot wait to dress up every single day when we have places to go. I think that we're gonna take our social lives so much more seriously, and every single time that we get to go out with our friends, it's just gonna be the best time ever. And no one's really gonna waste their time on things that don't matter. So I think that this was definitely a challenging year, I would say, for everybody. I cannot wait to come out of it, and so that's why I just think that New Year's, like especially, I think is such an overrated holiday, and anybody that knows me knows that I will dress up to the tens, but deep inside I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just another year. But this year I'm like, New Year's is so important and I cannot wait for it, so I'm excited for it. I'm actually going to be going to Rhode Island with a few of my friends, and I will probably vlog that, so you will see that on my channel soon. But thank you guys so much for asking me all of those questions. I had so much fun answering them for you. If you have any additional questions that I didn't answer, please feel free to leave them in the question box down below and I will happily get back to you. You can also DM me over on my Instagram. I answer my DMs literally right away because I don't get that many. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about me, and I will see you guys in my next video.